So it's very interesting to have people from all around the world. Right now, I'm also trying to build a network of people doing blockchain stuff. Let's use the polite term. I use Bitcoin generally around the world. Let's start with just an introduction of who you are and what you do mostly, and then I will have a question for each and any of you.
Thank you very much. My name is Andrei. My background is traditional payment industry. I worked for Click on Buy. It's a German payment system for over 10 years. And step into the blockchain community, Bitcoin community, 2010. And 2013, I started an cryptocurrency exchange in Germany, operating on e-money license from UK and ran it for 2 years. End of 2015, we shut down the exchange from the regulatory issues, of course. And now I have a small company in Germany. We're doing consultancy and software development for only for blockchain project for traditional industry, automotive industry, automotive supplier, banking industry. Yeah.
Yeah, hello. I'm Vladimir. So I'm a CEO of Distributed Lab. We are 3 years old. Yeah, this is our fifth BIP. And we provide software development for financial industry, but only blockchain-based software development. And we are so proud to be in Ukraine. So today maybe I will tell a little bit about how it's going on with blockchain in Ukraine.
You have to wait for my question. You can go. So I can interrupt you. Don't spoiler it.
Okay, I'm Dominik. We run Bitcoin Vietnam, the longest running exchange in Vietnam since 2014. Right now, special focus we have on the remittance part, which is especially over the last 1-2 years starting to really take off. Otherwise, we also settle some OTC trades and mostly just providing liquidity in the Vietnamese market as an exchange.
Hi everybody, my name is Alex, I'm coming from Spain. I'm building up a company that will grab some funds from big brands like a loyalty program and then allow people to decide to which social project they will send those funds through a smart contract, through ensuring that the funds are spent on what are they supposed to be spent. But I come from a little city in the north of Spain and nobody knew about blockchain there. I didn't want it to go out to Madrid, Barcelona, or whatever. So what I decided is to bring blockchain to my town, working with the university, with the town hall, with entrepreneurs, with business associations, and so on. And that's it. And I'm delighted to be here with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I will start with Vladimir, since you already spoiled the topic of your first question. So we are in Ukraine. I was impressed that I'm here since this is like the third year, and then I'm here, and I have seen on Facebook the post of that Bitcoin meetup with how many people, something like, it was incredible, probably fake, but I mean, I wanted to be scam, but I wanted to believe it. No, really, it was impressive. And also when we are here, last year, I was witness the intervention of some regulator or minister. It was incredible, the open mind about this topic here. So what's going on in Ukraine about blockchain stuff? What are the numbers, and what do you think are the reasons for this stuff going on?
Yeah, so as for that picture from Bitcoin Meetup, I can say you that this is not a fake. So, yeah, no. In reality, when we announced this meetup, we rented a room for 70 people. But they answered, I asked for a room for 70 people, but they asked that, okay, I'm sorry, but we have a room only for like the biggest room. We said, okay. And then we have 1,000 registrations and around maybe 600 or 700 people that came to us. So the key to success of any meetup, you can call it blockchain or Bitcoin, just mention the word ICO, you know. And then you will have just ICO, like 10 steps to ICO, and you can gather 7 rules of right ICO. And you can... Yeah, maybe yes, but yeah. So But in reality, so we are already 3 years we are doing these conferences. So I see incredible growth of the interest to Bitcoin and blockchain in Ukraine. Mikhail Chabanyan, he has only one Ukrainian exchange, and maybe volumes is not very high, but growth is very good. So I can assume that around 100,000 people in Ukraine use Bitcoin, the only one true cryptocurrency, you know.
Thank you. Just to please the moderator, you're very smart.
Yeah, so the last conference in Kiev gathered around, like, I think it's more than 1,000 people. Oh. Yes, so we see huge interest from public to Bitcoin and blockchain, and I think that so you asked why?
Yeah, if you have
I
any
think that-
hypothesis.
Yeah,
about the reason.
just one hypothesis that Ukrainians, we are technological nation, so we love everything new, everything that devoted to new technologies. So it's like some kind of no one trusts, but it's okay. No. I think that in reality, the answer that we are tech nation, so we love everything new.
Open to technology.
Yeah.
Thank you. Alex, you mentioned that since you didn't want to leave your little city in Spain to purchase blockchain glory around the world, your only option was to bring blockchain to your city. Since I almost did the same thing when I first created our hub in Milan, I had to invite people from all around the world in order to create something there which wasn't there at the beginning. What I was wondering was, why do you think that physical presence altogether is so important in a sector where we try to decentralize everything, decentralize trust, decentralize work, job, wages, bank accounts, so we can cooperate from all around the world, but yet physical hubs where we can actually meet people and stay with people together is something that for me was completely a game changer. Do you share the same opinion, and why do you think that's we really need physical hubs?
We don't need physical hubs.
Okay, thank you. We can pass over.
I agree. I totally agree.
You
But it's
can
like
elaborate.
it's like we have our mindset, and our mindset first talk about geography, because our communities are built in the last times were built about the nearing, the people you have near. But it's true that you don't really need, at least you of course need some physical contact. I still believe in physical contact, not only remote working, but it's true that the physical hubs maybe that doesn't have a lot of sense. But even though you don't need them, I think until we are able to change that mindset, it's positive to have like a little embryo in a physical part, so then you can build upon that some remote work and decentralized work and make a hub bigger outside the boundaries of any geographic territory.
Cool. So right now, for example, your company does work with employees around the world, or they are all present in your city in Spain?
My company doesn't still yet. I'm building the team, and things in Leon are running slowly, more slow than I would like. So I'm not throwing out the towel of finding some teammates there, but now I'm more focused because of my timings and the bootstrapping things on getting joined with other people, not only in Leon. I'm being like opening my scope and opening my mind to work with whoever in the world that shares my vision and shares the need for a global recirculation system for wealth in the world. Otherwise, we're fucked up.
Thank you. Very clear. Andrei, another thing that I do, apart from the physical hub for experts and for the incubator for experts, is also consultancy. We actually started to do consultancy in a very agnostic way 2 years ago about blockchain stuff, whatever. Everything that our clients asked for, we were studying it. And now we gladly transformed into the maximalist that you can meet now. That was also a result of our approach, our study. We basically came to the conclusion that there is something that can be done very well from existing database, centralized, trust-based solution, and something else that can be done properly, even if more inefficiently, by blockchains, namely Bitcoin. So my question for you is, since you on your website you are consulting about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Hyperledger, and basically all the classical players in the market, what is your take about that? Are you agnostic because the clients so far in the industry are still very skeptical about the purest Bitcoin solution, or do you really think that there are, and in your experience, have you found middle grounds and shades and hybrid possibilities between centralized systems, permissioned systems, and open blockchains?
Fact is that all the technologies are very new. We are all the alpha testers of the technologies, and currently we cannot say which technology we will have 1 year later. Bitcoin, of course, we will have.
Thank you, smart.
Yeah. The rest, maybe not. But my favorite smart contract technology is Ethereum as well. But all the people asking about Hyperledger. Yeah. There are completely two different technologies. You cannot compare even. It's hard to understand, hard to implement something in the same way as on Ethereum. So I think we have to test everything now. You cannot say Hyperledger Fabric is not so good as Ethereum if you didn't compare. Yeah, that's a fact. And industry customers are often driven by industry suppliers like IBM. And we should use this opportunity to explain them what is good and what is not good, or what is the maturity stage now of every technology.
What do they want from blockchain? Do they know what they want from the blockchain hype, or do they want trustlessness, or more security, or more efficiency? What do your clients think that blockchain can give them?
The clients think everything. That's a problem.
Magic.
And yeah, that's a magic. And our mission is to explain what is right and what is not. Yeah, what I call SQL test. Yeah, we do SQL tests with my customers. Yeah, to detect if blockchain is the right solution. And in 99% of cases, it is not.
Thank you. I also share the same rate of success. So Dominik, you basically, the microphone. Your exchange is one of the oldest and the oldest one in the country, and you are focusing basically on remittance. I think that remittance was always an interesting case because there are a lot of startups that started to think about Bitcoin for remittance. But the thing is that actually, if people did use Bitcoin on the 2 points of the chains, they will not need any remittance startup because they will just need a Bitcoin wallet to send it to receive. And if they do need intermediaries, they need local exchanges more than any kind of in-between startup. So how do you profit from remittance? It's more because you are the final end of the transfer, where you actually have to cover the last mile and convert, or do you think that Bitcoin could just help? For example, the classical quote, Western Union could use blockchain to have faster and cheaper transfers among its offices.
Okay, yeah, I mean, when it started out basically into this theme that Bitcoin become the disruptor of the global remittance part. I mean, you had people running around at this conference and saying, hey, Bitcoin can do all of this mostly for free, and Western Union is charging like 10%. The truth is that only in very limited corridors the case. And also Bitcoin is in many cases just not competitive, not necessarily regarding Western Union, but regarding the underground banking system. So for Vietnam, for example, some huge channels where you have a lot of overseas Vietnamese living is in Australia, also the US. And the underground banking there, you go to some corner store, give them your cash, USD, Australian dollar, and for like a charge of like 0.5%, they deliver the money to the door within the hour in Vietnam. This is something you just can't compete against. They have built up these structures over like 30, 40 years. The reason that they can offer these low rates is that you have on the Vietnamese side a lot of Vietnamese who want to send money out to the US or to Australia. And so basically these underground banking guys, they are making their money then on transferring the money from Vietnam to the other country. Then there's other channels where Bitcoin indeed can have an impact. Our strongest channel right now is from Korea. You have a lot of Vietnamese workers there in the industry in Korea who are sending money back home to their families, mostly located in the countryside. And the situation there is that you don't have many Vietnamese sending money to Korea, which means then that the underground banking charges like 5% or something if you want to send money, cash from Korea to Vietnam. So this is a channel which we are at the moment basically kind of disrupting. 80% of our remittance volume really is coming from Korea. It also has to do that our partners there are doing very good work, because just putting the tech out there alone doesn't bring you the customers. You need to have trusted persons in these communities to help you to onboard these people. So yeah, from Korea basically we have right now probably like $1 million per month flowing in, and it's growing.
Great. Do you think that decentralized exchanges in the future could threat the business model of a typical exchange? Is something that many users are waiting for censorship-resistant reasons or for security reasons. But if the centralized exchange did really proliferate, do you think that a company like yours would have to completely? Is that perceived as a possible menace, possible threat by the exchange business guys?
So the question is basically if we kind of decentralize the exchange, because right now we are basically this counterparty which serves as the off-ramp in the Vietnamese market. I mean, you see this already in part happening. I mean, there might be people, and we know some people who know other people on the Korean side and also on the Vietnamese side who are just settling these kind of trades between themselves. Something also about the underground banking system, you have where you usually go to do your transfers is all these gold shops. It's quite funny to see that it's like gold shops which have no gold in display, just the official exchange rate, but that's it. And you see then people walking in there with all these suitcases full of paper money. We heard also that some of them start really to use Bitcoin now for settlements. So this is starting to happen. I mean, these kind of people are really very focused on where to make a profit, where to do arbitrage trades, and of course at some point they also discovered Bitcoin there. So it's starting to happen already. So I don't see how basically you could stop Bitcoin just by shutting down exchanges.
Clear, thanks. So starting from Alex, same question for every one of you, a typical panel question. What do you think are the possible threats and risks for blockchain industry in the future? So the biggest challenges, scalability, anonymity, or whatever, and what do you think are the biggest hopes, the biggest game changer that can enter new technology, mass adoption, friendlier regulation and stuff? So the risks and opportunity in the future.
For me, maybe the main risk could be the dystopic vision. Whenever there is a utopic vision, there could be a dystopic vision. And if we think about the beginning of the internet, that we were all very, very happy that it will bring freedom to humans, we can exchange information and so on. What happened now? We begin exchanging information, and now who is showing our information? Do you think what can happen if this happens with the value and assets and everything? So I'm a bit like worried about that, because now we are in a very beginning and everything is beautiful, but there are a lot of people in the other side, let's talk it like that they are also trying to keep their space and everything, and they got a lot of money. For example, I'm curious about the big corps. They are not talking a lot about what are really thinking in blockchain, and that scares me a bit, really, because it's like the same. Imagine that for whatever reason, we got the information internet model translated to the internet of value model. I don't want to even imagine it. And for me, that's maybe more a philosophical threat, but it's the one I'm really afraid of, because maybe it could came from anonymity reasons, from privacy, security, all the reasons behind that are now the most common threats or challenge for the industry. But we must not underestimate the people who is ruling now.
Thanks. And what's your greatest hope for the blockchain business and sector? What's the thing you are waiting for that could make everything better?
The thing that I think could balance our humankind is like, if blockchain is a technology that eliminates intermediaries, if we think like in the gross world product now, how many millions are dedicated towards intermediation? So that that money is irredeemably gonna change of hands. I don't know where, but it's like what I mean by recirculation of wealth. There is not redistribution, because if you redistribute something, it means that you decide where to get something and where to put it. No, it should be natural. And all that funds.
Osmosis.
I have the hope of getting like new pipes for the money, because now the pipes of money are very well studied and fueled. No, working smoothly for a lot of years, but if we go on like this and we push hard and fast, these directions and these signals of traffic are going to irredeemably change. And then we have the opportunity to make things better. It's like we are facing a moment in which, as humans, we can redefine our social, economic, and political relationships. So we will be able to agree on what we did bad first, what was our errors, and we will be able to make things better this time. I hope yes, and that's where I'm working, and I think maybe you can share this opinion. We have a historical moment in which we can change the progress of history, so let's get prepared to fight against that dystopic vision and fight for the utopic one.
Thank you. Very inspiring.
Welcome.
Dominik, same question.
Okay, the risk, I mean, some pain point which we certainly have right now is that the Bitcoin transaction fees are rising at a level which is not really nice for us as a Bitcoin exchange. So if we see, for example, then small remittance, just $100, $200, and you pay already $3 or $5 for the Bitcoin transaction fee to be settled, that starts to make an impact on making these kind of transfers viable. Given that the technological problems get sorted out, I'm a bit more optimistic there on the societal impact, which might have also to do living in Vietnam. A lot of people are, I would say, like kind of natural anarchists. I mean, they don't read all these papers and books and whatever.
Honey badgers.
It's just more from the attitude people are acting there. People don't unlearn Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general. So once they get how to use it, they know how to use it, and more people start to learn about it. And I didn't mention this before, but the underground trading market in Vietnam is certainly like 99% of the trading volume there. So I just don't see it going away.
Thanks. Vladimir? I'm sorry, Andrei. At the end, you will not have any answer because they will cover any possible answer. You will have to use your imagination.
Forget the question.
Yeah, exactly. What was the question? Sorry, Vladimir.
Yeah. So I think that many times we will see growth. We will see. I think that in the nearest future we will see like big correction on a cryptocurrency market. But anyway, I believe that nothing can stop blockchain and especially Bitcoin as a money. But what in reality? So I think that nothing can stop this story. Like we will see like incredible growing, new wealth, corrections, like and so on. But nothing can stop this story. And what I think ecosystem really needs is regulated, decentralized exchange for cryptocurrencies. Also, we need more cooperation with regulators, and as a result, more software, more solution for digital asset management. So we need to bring this software and these ideas to the market, and like we really need great adoption of this technology on traditional markets. So I hope that in the next 5 or 10 years, all software for financial industry will be replaced by blockchain-based software.
Cool. So now, Andrei, you are free to give me any answer that doesn't cover scalability, adoption, regulation, and societal problem.
Yeah, I can only remember on the keyword from Vladimir, digital asset. Yeah, and that's really what I had to explain. All crypto currency, all crypto blockchain projects stuff, it's now about digital asset management. Yeah, your favorite Bitcoin is a digital asset as well. And we are trying to learn now how to deal with digital assets, because we never did it. Nobody did it in the right way, because before blockchain there weren't any digital asset in this right implementation, and we'll do a lot of big mistakes. It's normal in a learning process, and this is the main challenge and in the same time main opportunity. Yeah. And the most of exciting developments occurs in communities, not in corporates. And community is tough. Community will do a lot of tough projects and do a lot of mistakes, but the whole innovation will come from the community, and we need to support the community. We need to run meetups, whatever. And I trying the whole time to bring the corporates in such a community way. Yeah, to try to focus them on community-driven development. Every cool things in a blockchain world came from the community, not from the corporates. And I asked by my clients about what is the really productive projects on blockchain. Yeah, I say Bitcoin. Yeah? Good. And what is a really productive project on smart contract? I say, sorry, ICO. Yeah? It's a pure,
it's working.
Yeah, it's a pure community product. The millions, the hundreds of $millions are running through ICO smart contracts. Yeah? It's really cool. Invented by community. Illegal, maybe criminal. Yeah? But technologically absolutely cool. Yeah, and look, there are small companies creating cool projects. Yeah, you're laughing. Yeah, you are working on same exciting product. Yeah, Satoshi Fund. Yeah, it's about digital asset management. Absolutely,
is the criminal part.
Yeah, absolutely cool. Yeah, technologically absolutely sexy and cool, but illegal and maybe criminal. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. So, Lida, do you think we can take questions from the public? Okay.
First of all, I'll take the microphone from you. And then we have 10 minutes to address to our wonderful panelists. If there are any questions, of course, I'm running. So please say your name.
Hello. So my name is Vladimir. We've been talking a lot today about the bubble effect, that the cryptocurrency world is a kind of a bubble that by its nature will either collapse or explode. So my question is, what is the approach and what is the strategy that existing businesses gonna take, that they should approach to survive this kind of explosion that we will meet in future?
Okay. If somebody wants to answer.
Simply, they shouldn't simply invest in ICOs.
Fabulous. Any other panelists wants to come in?
To put some numbers on the bubble, when the internet bubble exploded, only Yahoo was valued at $115 billion. Today, the whole crypto space is 100 billion. So I think we are far away from a bubble. Maybe the reasons that guided to the explosion of the bubble in the internet, in the .com explosion, maybe are different than now. But just to put some numbers, that is what I want to do. Yahoo, 115 billion. The whole crypto space, 100 billion. So maybe it's not that big, the bubble now.
All right. Thank you. We satisfied with the answer? Okay, we move further.
Hi, I'm hoping you'll each give your most dystopian vision of the possible blockchain future. The most dystopian one. At least that is kind of like, okay to share without risking making it too likely.
That's a good one. Okay.
Let me show Bitcoin first. You want to maybe...
Is Giacomo involved in this question?
Yeah, anyone who wants to answer.
Anyone who wants to answer.
Okay.
So most dystopian scenario at all is that well, it's very close to what Alex said before. Basically, the thing is cashless and digitalization could mean privacy for the user and transparency for the powerful, like in the old cypherpunk idea, or it could mean exactly the opposite, like many cashless experiments are trying to do right now. Like if you think about it, in India right now they are fighting about Bitcoin because some part of the government think that Bitcoin is, they are fighting for cashless. Bitcoin is cashless, so maybe it's something new, good. But on the other hand, they are fighting for total and ubiquitous traceability, 1984 style, to keep everyone under control. And if Bitcoin was and blockchain was a buzzword that could empower the governments around the world to actually establish a super big brother, financial big brother, more efficient than the one we have. I mean, blockchain is not efficient, but many fintech stuff that are sold as blockchain are very efficient. Do we really want to make a super financial global big brother more efficient in what it does? So that's my personal dystopian future. A cashless, centralized, government-controlled present. Yeah, right. A prison. Oh no, I thought it was that's the present. Not yet. But.
Okay, can we move for further questions, or anyone else wants to answer? All right, we have one more here. Here we go.
Yeah, I was not. The prior answer was not enough for me. I mean, okay, there's a bubble, or there's not a bubble, whatever. How would you actually act if this is a bubble? I.e., how would you short this?
This is the panel about blockchain.
How we should act? But so, personally, I think that this is a bubble. Yeah. So the only thing that I want to do is to wait for correction, and then buy Bitcoin for all my money.
Sounds like a sound advice, because I mean, timing the market is always quite tricky, and I mean, there's people who sold already their bitcoins at a much lower price now and are still waiting for the price to come back down. So I mean, yes, we will probably see lower prices, but timing this is incredibly difficult. And if you do leveraged short trades, I mean, you don't know when the bubble stops, and this can wipe you out before you are correct.
Maybe I have been a little bit optimistic, but it's just to get out of the bubble that's coming. It can come, of course. And the strategy about it is like, it's a very old one. I don't remember who told it. It was Soros or Warren Buffett who were telling like, just buy when the blood is floating up the streets. That's what is going to happen. That's what Vladimir told is exactly the same. So when blood is floating everything, just buy with all your money.
Okay, we have more questions.
I want to ask you about, we talk bubble, but when bubble came last time, I mean .com, nobody say it's bubble. Maybe just now we have no bubble because we talk bubble, and who will sell Bitcoin or Ethereum tomorrow? Nobody.
I guess it's a statement, or it's a question.
It's a question because I want to comment.
Anybody who wants to comment upon this?
So what is the question? Because I don't remember very good that times, you know. I was yeah, I was several years old, so. But I think that today is, you know, like every time we think that history is repeating, but something is changing anyway. So
Words of wisdom.
so what?
Sorry, no.
What?
I said words of wisdom. Sorry, it was just kind of.
Sure. So the question is, where is this difference? So if you believe that this is a bubble, okay, sell everything today better. So you know that Ether is 280 or something like this, and then Bitcoin is 2,500. So sell everything today and buy for $10, for example. If you think that tomorrow Ether will be 2,500, like, so everything is about your attitude to the situation. But nobody can tell you that you are right or not. Like, you just have to do your own decisions. So.
Yeah, my answer would be to forget this financial focus and really better focus on technological part of blockchain. I'm pretty sure blockchain is the greatest technology for next 20 years. And as more you learn, as more you try to create different products or implement different ideas on it, as more valuable the whole infrastructure will be, and you personally as well. Yeah? You can lose all your money today, but you can tomorrow with your brain 10 times more money. It's just every time the same.
I agree totally with you about the technological side, but don't forget about business models. So don't forget about the business model, because so we can see so many bright companies from a technological side, but we have just Bitcoin.
Dominik?
Yeah, I mean, general markets just always move in certain patterns. That's what he also just said with buying when there's blood in the streets. I mean, at the peak of the bubble, you have everybody still thinking it's going higher and throwing money at it like crazy. And the same basically happens when you have then the peak to the downside, when everybody thinks, oh my God, this whole thing is completely falling apart and everybody is trying to sell, and at some point it doesn't go lower anymore. I mean, this is always these spikes in both directions, which you see at some point. At the moment, I think it's not a good time really to short Bitcoin, because it still looks like we're in a bull market, but I mean, you never know when really the peak is gonna happen.
Okay, and we have, I guess, one more question to take, if there are any. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Hi. At this wave of hype, I think we will see the lots of scam. You know, everywhere is consulting for IC, or you know, that will be a lot of scam. How do you think should the blockchain community take some effort to fight against it, to make? What efforts do you think there can be to fight against scam?
Question. Anyone wants to answer that?
That's a tricky question. Good one. Yeah. It's a good one. But let me give you a tricky answer. It's not about blockchain. Blockchain is going to change a lot of things very fast, but the human condition is not going to change for so fast. You know, that's why you can provide mechanism based in blockchain to avoid the probability of a scam, and in fact there are some initiatives in that way, but it's not about blockchain. It's about humans.
Okay. In Vietnam, I think we don't have yet many ICO scams or something going on yet. I mean, the more traditional scams, there are these kind of money games where, like, give me all your Bitcoin, 30% interest every week, and these kind of things, which are old scams, happened before with gold and US dollar or whatever. Now these people just have adapted to basically using cryptocurrency there. We don't put too much effort into this because you just can't stop it. The people who are running these schemes, I mean, they profit usually handsomely. That's why they are running these schemes and keep going on and setting up the next and the next. And we also found out that most people investing into these scams actually are aware that they are scams and just hope that they get out in time. I mean, they're basically just gambling on these Ponzi schemes, saying, yeah, maybe I leave it in there for 2 weeks and then get my money back out. Most of the time it doesn't work, but that's why we don't really put much effort in there. I mean, just if they become, too aggressive. For example, we had one of these schemes coming to our Bitcoin ATM, which we have in Saigon, putting their stickers on the ATM, making some YouTube videos telling people that's their ATM and they're very legit and blah, blah. This is something when we then also put some announcement, no, we don't know this, it's a scam and stay away. But otherwise, we just can't put up the resources to stop these scams. And it also doesn't have much impact.
You know, I think that we should take care about that, guys. The scammer. Yeah, and so I think that community has to do something with this. Anyway, so some spreading information about reputation. So, for example, I know that you are a good guy, so I believe you.
I'm talking about educational efforts. Why
Yeah.
not? You made it already.
Yeah. So anyway, so if we want this market to be real, so we need to take care about this.
Yeah, we are trying, all of us, we are trying to provide a lot of educational effort, yeah, with meetups. I'm running 3 meetups per month as well, but the problem is the people are greedy, yeah, and you cannot stop it.
If I may, I totally agree about education, and I have to say that in this event today, we had more examples of education about scam risk than, I mean, that in 3 days of scam consensus in New York, for example, and the price is not as high.
Okay, thank you so much. Are you in the mood to take one more question? Because I cannot actually not to do it. Go ahead.
Yeah, why not just some sort of industry certification of ICOs? So rather than let the regulator force the regulator to come in, agree as a community to have some sort of certification for ICOs that are maybe that there's compliance, there's KYC compliance, so that you don't, like, the regulators aren't going to come after all these ICOs that's what I was thinking about.
As long as Ponce ICO is regulated, I'm okay.
Can we have one answer, please? Because not so much time.
Yeah, I think it will be new kind of banks who will provide the ICO or ICO-like processes, because it's nothing new. The whole scheme what ICO implements, it's collecting investors' money to finance a project or whatever a need. It's a standard business of a bank, of industry bank, and this is highly regulated. And the process are good known, and it will be digitized by blockchain. But running ICO by a bank, it's not so sexy. Yeah? So the native ICO will still exist or mutate into even more sexy forms to provide more scam. Yeah?
Thank you so much. I'm afraid by this we need to wrap it up. Thank you so much again, Giacomo, Zucco, all our wonderful panelists. Thanks for coming. Thanks for sharing the experience.